The 6-second looping video known as Vine has given rise to a brand new form of internet language. There are Vine celebrities making hundreds of thousands of dollars with millions of followers, creatively using this teeny tiny bit of video. And now one of the creators behind Vine is back with a new tool that combines video, emojis, text, sound. It is called Byte, but is it too much? For that, we are going to talk to our panel this week. We have Claire Reilly from the website CNet and Peter Marks, who is an app developer and tech commentator. I'm fascinated by this. What the hell is it, Peter?
I guess they're like little flash movies, sort of little presentations with text and a little bit of animation. You can have...
Presentation is probably generous.
Okay. Well, kind of a, you know, like a kid does when they do PowerPoint, that kind of thing. So they've got little bits of repeating animation. They've got a little bit of movement, lots of colours.
Photos.
And, yeah, so you put that together to make it a bit more interesting than a static image, but not quite the full extent of an actual edited movie. So it fits somewhere in between those two things.
Yeah, and you can kind of pull memes off the internet, add your own video, add photos of yourself, add little cartoons and graphics, but you can also add a kind of a looping synth backing track, and you create that sound by putting, like, dragging emojis from a keyboard up onto a grid on your screen, and then different emojis change the sound of the looping track, which just, I mean, that took me several kind of reads to work out what they were talking about.
Yeah, so in practice what we've got here is a device that's drawing together a couple of different elements. In a sense, it's sort of doing what Photoshop does and what Final Cut Pro did and what iMovie did, but making it sort of native to a mobile environment, but also like heavily tethered to a social environment. So this is the sort of technology you'd be using to fuel the next generation of memes on Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat. I'm now just saying buzzwords. Is that a reasonable assessment of what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a fun way. So Snapchat has got that immediacy, and you can kind of take a photo, draw with your finger, and kind of do an MS Paint, sort of like a little cartoon around your photo. Vine is the short looping feel. Instagram, the shareability. So it kind of brings all of that together for this pastiche, and you get, I can kind of see that it'd be a fun way for maybe about a month with your group of friends to suddenly be sharing a whole bunch of stuff that's like...
I think you can actually remix other people's presentations as well and change them and improve them.
Yeah.
But they also have this element of rooms. They have spaces which group together content on a similar meme. So I think what they're hoping is that these will take off a bit like subreddits. You know, we get a community behind them.
How do you find a commonality to some of these things? Because I've seen some of these bytes and they look like unmitigated crazy. Like, it's like trying to herd preschoolers into groups based on, like, I just feel like your rooms would be like, this is a cat meme area, I guess.
You know that would take off though, right?
With dolphins, maybe?
Dolphins, I think we're in there, yeah. I just wonder, the only way it's going to stay interesting is if they keep adding new tools, new authoring tools. If it's just that set that we see today and that's it, they're all going to look the same.
Yeah.
So they would have to drip out some new tool each month, maybe have a bit of exclusivity or something.
That's interesting, because my first reaction to it was this is too much. I think we've seen a steady trend over the last couple of years of sort of decoupling apps on your phone, where you'd use different apps to deal with different things. And one of the things that struck me about it was, I actually feel like this is throwing too much stuff at the wall. But maybe I'm old and stupid. Maybe that is what you want. You want something that lets you do, I want to do video, but I want to do finger painting, but I want to do emojis all in the same environment. It's
probably going to appeal to a younger audience. That said, I didn't think I'd love Snapchat, and Snapchat's an awesome way. I've received snaps from friends who are living overseas, and it's so immediate. You're suddenly in their life. I can see that I'm, you know, maybe I head down to the ABC to record something. I take a short looping video, take a shot with Pete. I draw something on it, make some sound, then have some flying dolphins across the screen, and then send it out to my friends going, hey, you guys, I'm at the ABC. This is so
and that's
cool.
the key thing. You'll share it with your friends on Facebook, great rave, and then they'll tap on it and it will say the only way you can really look at this content is to download this app and install it. So that's the viral effect that they're hoping to get. What
has she sent me? I can guess what's in this. I'm not downloading anything.
They may just say, that is really ugly. I'm not installing that app.
Is it a viable competitor to things like Snapchat?
Yeah, I think it could be. I mean, Snapchat does a single thing and it does it well. Vine does a single thing and it does it really well. I wonder whether you're right, if it's just so much stuff happening, it's too complicated, and that maybe when people start using it, because it's only just come out of beta, if people start using it, they suddenly go, okay, well, we don't use this emoji synth board thing very much, so they might kind of pull that back to the side, but actually people are using it for suddenly, I mean, you think about Vines and Snapchat, those were tools used during the Ferguson riots. So something that sounds really stupid can actually take on a whole new life. So we never know how these kinds of tools are going to be picked up by society and used.
And good job bringing it back to serious Radio National Fair. I like that.
It's what I do, Mark.
All right, let us know down below. Do you think Byte is something that is worth using, or is it just too much? I'd love to know your comments down below. Thanks, guys.